again about theme. We were working on that when we ran out of time yesterday. And we were actually trying to figure out what do we do to figure out the theme of a story, right? That's where we were yesterday. And our question was not only what is the theme, but what kind of evidence can I use in order to figure out and support my theme, right? Okay. So let's talk first about what is a theme. As a little review, what is a theme?
The message of the story.
It's the message of the story, or the moral of the story, right? Okay, and how am I going to go about finding that moral? I'm going to use evidence. What kind of evidence am I going to use? What kind of things am I going to use? Tell me. I'm going to use the title. I might use the setting, our character, or the conflict. So those are all things that I'm going to be able to use to figure out what the theme of the story is, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It says here that we discussed yesterday that it's never directly stated. There's nowhere that's going to say the theme of the story is. So we're going to have to do something called infer. What did we decide infer was yesterday?
You have to look for it.
You have to look for it. You have to figure it out. You have to use our evidence, our title, our characters, those kind of things, and figure it out for yourself. So infer means to figure it out for yourself, right?
Yes.
Okay. And one thing that we want to remember is sometimes, especially on those kinds of tests that we have in the spring, it may not say theme. It might say
Central idea.
Central idea. So if they're asking you for the central idea, they're definitely not wanting you to give a summary or anything like that. They're looking for the theme. Good. Okay. We have two standards that we want to work on today. The first one says, determine the central theme of a text and summarize the key supporting details. Now, within your group, discuss what you think that means. Go. Okay, stop. So we had a couple of key things in that standard that we need to know what mean, right? Central theme, which we just talked about, right? But what do you think the rest of it means? Who can tell me what did you decide in your group?
You have to read the story and then figure out the theme on yourself, like from the clues throughout the story, and then go back and find details for your evidence.
Do you think she's right?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody have something to add? She did it pretty good, didn't she?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. All right, let's look at the second one that we're going to work at today. Integrate and evaluate information presented in diverse media and formats, including visually and orally. Okay, within your group, decide what you think that means. Okay, so let's stop. I heard several of your groups talking about exactly what I thought you should. Diverse media. Is that the thing that your group thought was the most important? Raise your hand. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
That was the one that you should have gotten out of that, right?
Yes.
So diverse media. Tell me what you think that means.
A short video of something.
That would be an example. An audiobook would be an example. A song.
Newspaper article.
Newspaper. Okay, so what I'm hearing is it's not just one little short story that we're going to find in print. It's not just one novel that we're going to find in print. It is a whole host of things. Videos, pieces of art, poetry, audiobooks. Those are all examples of diverse media because we know that diverse means different. Very good. It means different. So we're looking at not only one particular way to find to view a story. It's not just that one written piece of information. Why do you think I would choose to use diverse media?
To show us how the characters evaluated the situation throughout
not just reading what it says, I'm actually seeing that happen. Do we agree with that?
Yes,
He did a good job. Okay, so I chose diverse media not only for that reason, but there is actually another. This spring, our district has decided that we're going to use computerized based tests. With computerized based tests, that means that I don't have the option of just giving you a piece of paper. I can now put video clips in there. I can now put little audio clips in there. And I want you to be able to say that you have done something with that before now. I want you to be able to have been exposed to that. So that's why I chose a video. Okay, so let's look at our objective. To identify theme in a variety of texts, analyze specific evidence to support the theme, and we're going to use class discussion, and we're going to use a graphic organizer for that. Okay, so based on this objective, today I will be able to identify a theme. Good. And I'm going to, so that I can, I'm going to analyze my evidence. Very good. And I'm going to analyze the evidence that goes with the theme. Correct? And I'll know I have it when. How am I going to know that you have it? How are you going to know that you have it? We're going to use our graphic organizers. We're going to use group discussions. We're going to work together to figure this out. Okay, so that's our objective. Very good. Okay. Yesterday, when we were discussing this, we came up with this organizer on our own to figure out what can I use to figure out a theme. Okay? And the first thing, group one, tell me what was the first one? Title. And what do you know about a title?
The title can help you figure out the mood of the story.
Sometimes it gives clues to the mood, to maybe the conflict that's going to happen. It might give you some clues. Group three, tell me the second one. How?
How does the main character change?
The main character change throughout the movie. How does the story react to the character? Like how's the character going to behave?
So, according to what problem we're going to have to figure out how that affected the character. Do you think he's right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I think he's right too. Do we have anything to add to that?
No, ma'am.
No, you do? The conflict is going to be important here. Very good. It's going to determine how that character is going to change. Okay, talk to me, group four. What about emotion?
It's how the story makes you feel at the very end of the story, like how the plot and stuff that everything that happened in the story, how it made you feel.
How it made you feel. All right, any other group, can you tell me, is it just how it made you feel?
It can be how the characters felt at the end of the
How the
story.
characters feel. We need to kind of tap into what was the author trying to make us feel, right?
Yes,
Those are
ma'am.
things that we have to take into account. Very good. What about mood? Group 6, tell me about mood.
It's how the character felt.
It's how not only the character felt, but it's the overall mood of the piece, right? Can somebody give me an example?
Such as if you read a story, it would determine was it a sad story or a happy story.
And how should that make us feel?
That would make us feel like if it was a sad story, then it would probably make us feel sad.
So we're trying to connect with the character ourselves. Very good. And group 2, tell me about enduring. We discovered about enduring yesterday what?
How does the message apply to life? Like, how could you relate to the story, or how you could like get a piece of what it tried to help the character with, help you with, and stuff like that.
Awesome, awesome answer. Very good. Okay, so that is what we went over yesterday, and we're going to use these things today to actually figure out the theme of one of our videos. Why would I use a video as a short story? I know it's diverse media, but what qualifies it to be a short story? Why would I say it is a short story?
It has a plot.
It has a plot. Very good. We haven't talked about plot in a while. So let's take a brief moment and go back and think about the plot. I remember that when we talked about plot, we used a graphic organizer and we made it look like a mountain, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we started at the bottom of the mountain, and that was what? Exposition. Very good. And exposition was when we determined what? The characters. We were introduced to the characters. We found out who's going to be in the story. And it kind of tells us about the setting too as well, right? And then we moved up the hill, up the side of the mountain, and that was?
Rising action.
Rising action. That's kind of like walking up the mountain, right? So tell me, what should I discover in the rising action?
The beginning of the
The beginning of the problem. We should introduce the problem, and we should be able to identify that this is going to be a problem, right?
Yes, ma'am.
At the top of the mountain or the summit, what did we have?
The conflict.
The conflict. What goes on in the conflict?
The problem.
That's the problem. Good. Y'all remember this. You're doing well. All right, so we made it to the top of the mountain. We had the conflict. What about going down the far side?
The falling action.
Falling action. What happens in falling action?
Where you're
We're looking for a solution to the problem. We might not have it solved yet, but we're beginning to do something within the story to fix the problem, right? And then at the bottom, now that we're down in the valley again, resolution. Good. Y'all even remember all the words. Resolution is what? It's the end of the problem. We have everything solved. Everything is good. Now let's talk about the video that we watched yesterday. We actually watched 3. We're only going to take one today. And the one we're going to take is For the Birds. Think about For the Birds. Did it have all of those things that we just discussed for a plot? Exposition. Did we introduce the characters?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we did. Did we have a rising action?
Yes,
I can see this is going to be a problem, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then we had the problem at the top of the mountain. And then we had to resolve the problem, right?
Yes.
And then we had the resolution. So it actually had all the parts of a plot. So that makes it a short story. Now, somebody give me a summary, just to kind of refresh our memory on For the Birds. Give me a summary of what For the Birds was about.
There was a really there was a few small birds, and then there was this one big bird that just showed up out of nowhere, and the little birds started making fun of the big bird because he was really different. And when he landed in between all the little birds that scooted apart, then when all the little birds gathered around him, he started pushing the power line down, and they started pegging on his feet. Everybody started cheering on those 2 little birds that were pegging on his feet. And when he got so close to the ground, the big bird fell off, and all the little birds shot up into the air, and they lost their feathers.
Awesome job. Did she give me a summary?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What's a summary? It's a little short version of what happened, right? She gave me a great summary.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. For your graphic organizer, I left your graphic organizer on your desk. Fold like a hot dog. Unfold it, fold it like a hamburger. Now you have 4 sections, right? All right, so let's think about For the Birds. By yourself, just individually, pick a square, and I want you to identify what you think the theme is. Just jot it down real quick. It doesn't have to be a complete sentence, just jot down what you think it is. Okay, looks like we all have a good idea. Now, with your group, take a few moments and discuss your themes. Come up with a theme that your group is going to present. Okay, be sure you come up with at least one piece of evidence to help us discuss it, okay? Go.
I think that the main origin is activity. No matter how many tricks the small players try to tell everybody what's a big be, they said you ended up, you still ended up staying right where he was and still just staying where he because they didn't even give him a big bird chance. They didn't even give him a big bird chance.
Okay, stop. I heard some good discussions. We have some pretty good themes floating around out here. So group 1, Can you tell me the theme that your group decided on?
Be true to yourself.
Be true to yourself. Okay, explain to me the evidence.
The big bird, that he was proud of himself. He wasn't going to change for the little birds. The little birds were making fun of him, but he just stayed himself and didn't change for anyone.
Do you think that their theme is appropriate for the video that we saw? Okay. Do we have anybody who had something that was similar to that?
We had almost the exact same thing. We put don't try to change for other people even though you're different. We
Oh.
would just be you.
Just be you. That's a good one. So when you write that, write just be you, okay? So, does anybody have any evidence that would go along with what they said? Like additional evidence, or did she pretty much get it? She pretty much got it. She did a good job. Group 1, somebody write that on your poster, please. Group 2, tell me what you came up with.
We came up with think before you take action.
Think before you take action. Who thinks that's an appropriate thing? Maybe. What if I don't agree? I need to hear your evidence.
We came up with that the birds didn't think you were being shot because you came too close to realizing that.
Awesome. So he had good evidence. I didn't really want to believe that at the beginning. I mean, I thought, I don't know about that, but that's really good evidence. He got it. Okay, we got group 3 here. They told us good evidence with theirs a while ago, so we're going to let them write that. So if you'll go write yours, please, somebody. Group 4, tell me what you have as theme.
Karma will come back.
Oh, that's a good word, karma. Who can tell me what karma is? Kind of like explain that to me.
Something's kind of like vengeance.
A little bit of revenge, right? What goes around comes around. That's a good one. Do you think that that would be appropriate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so talk to me about your evidence. Why? What evidence would make you say that?
The evidence is because the little birds were picking on the bigger bird and they were making fun of him and they were like accepting him for who he was. And in the end, they shot up, they all saw their feathers and they ended up looking even sillier than he did.
That's right. So they were picking on him, and as a result, they're the ones that ended up looking even sillier. Do we agree with that? That was good evidence, right?
Yes, it's
Good. So somebody from your group write that. And group 5, tell me what y'all are 5. Tell me what y'all have discovered.
Don't judge a book by its cover and ignore the negativity.
Don't judge a book by its cover, and then you should ignore the negativity. Okay, she's kind of giving us a 2-part theme here. Would that work? A 2-part theme?
Yes, ma'am.
It could. What do I need to hear first before I decide? Her evidence. I'm going to have your evidence. Let's hear it.
When the bigger bird, he first approached the smaller birds, they laughed at him and they picked on him because he was tall and he had a larger beak than they did. Their size, he weren't their size. And then as the larger bird tried to ignore it, he did. But the smaller birds, no matter what they still kept, messing with him, bullying him. And he just stood there, he basically ignored it.
He did. He did a good job of ignoring it, too. That's great. Somebody from your group, write that down for me, please. Group 6, tell me what you have.
Everyone is equal.
Okay, and tell me what you mean by that.
Like, they were all birds, they all had feathers, but the big bird was being laughed at because he looked a little bit different and he shouldn't have been being laughed at.
Awesome. Did she do a good job with her evidence, or should she add something to it? She did a very good job. They were all birds. She made a good comparison. Everybody that was there was all a bird. They were even all bluebirds, but one of them was different. So you did a good job. So somebody from your group, write that, please. All right. Now let's think about this. Did anybody individually have something that was different? Okay. Tell me.
I had a thing called Don't Be Stubborn.
Oh, don't be stubborn. That's a good one. Why do you say don't be stubborn?
Because one of the reasons that the birds launched up in here because they will not move. They didn't think of it. They just wanted to sit on that one area whenever they went back up.
Yeah, all they had to do was like take a step over and give him room, right? That's an awesome idea. I have not thought about that one. Now, let's look at that compared to, we still got a couple working right here, but that's okay. Let's look at compared to the themes that we found, can you fit that in or compare that to a theme that's here? Number 3. Why number 3, Chris? It says, think before you take action. Yes, they had thought and not been stubborn.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
They would have thought about that. They would have not thought.
They probably would have made a better decision, right? Does anybody have another one? Okay.
Peer pressure.
What about peer pressure?
When he was picking up Big Bird's feet was about to fall off, everybody else was cheering him on, the two of them, everybody else was cheering him on and was telling him, and they ended up,
They ended up flying through the air. Okay, so does that relate to any of the ones? Can you compare that or contrast that to any of the ones that are there? Number 4. Why number 4?
Because they were being mean and they ended up, since they were taking him and they gave in to peer pressure, they got.
Right. So if they had not been being mean and given in to peer pressure, they probably wouldn't have had that problem to begin with. Is there another one that you maybe could compare or contrast to?
No.
Libby?
Group 1.
Group 1. Group 1 said what? Be true to yourself. Okay, so explain to me how that would go along with that.
Because even though he was different, they didn't like them pick on him.
Good. He should have just, he did what he was supposed to do and just mind his own business and be himself, right? Awesome. Okay, I did not hear anything about bullying. Could we come up with a theme for that involves bullying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what would we say?
Don't be a bully.
Don't be a bully. It could be a simple one like that, right? Don't be a bully. Okay, if we had don't be a bully, of course we know the evidence would be when they're pecking his feet, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if we are working on don't be a bully, and we're working on things like karma will come back to you, and everyone is equal, and don't be stubborn, and don't judge, how does that relate to us, personally? Can we take those lessons and apply them to our life?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
How?
By using them in everyday situations.
Okay, give me an example, please.
With group 1, be true to yourself. When everybody's being mean to you and telling you to change and, do this, do that, wear this, you can just be yourself and wear what you want to wear and ignore everybody else.
Awesome. Do we have another example? Anybody have another example? Yes, sir?
By comparing yourself to how the character had responded to the situation,
Okay, explain that.
such as like the bird when he was getting picked on, he never paid attention to the negativity that the birds were giving him. He always stayed to himself.
He did. He didn't try to change. Very good. Can you apply that to you as a person? You as a student? Let's think about peer pressure. Do you experience peer pressure?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, you do. What makes you different from the little birds in the video, hopefully, is the fact that you make better decisions with that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You not only realize that it's peer pressure, but you stand up for yourself and you don't allow yourself to fall into that peer pressure. That's a lesson we can take from the video and apply directly to ourselves. What about being a bully? Are we bullies?
No, ma'am.
Well, I hope not, but sometimes we are and we don't realize it, right? Sometimes it's not intentional that you're being a bully, but can you apply that to your life?
Yes, ma'am.
What are you going to think about?
No matter how big or how small you are, you still could be a bully.
Even if you don't really realize that's what's happening, right? But that's a lesson that you could take and help yourself make a better decision for your life, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all of these groups came up with things that we can apply to us. You've talked about it. You've told me how. I could use this win, right? So we can actually apply those. Remember enduring. How does it apply to my life? We all can use those. Talk to me about what about being true to yourself? Can you use that in your life?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can. Stand up for yourself, right? Those are lessons that we need to learn for ourselves. Okay, when we have discussed all of these things. I noticed as I walked around that we were discussing different things. Some of y'all did not have the same answer as your group members. Is that good or bad?
That's good.
It can be good, right? Why? Why did we all have different answers? Why are there so many different themes on our board over here? Why have we talked about some that we didn't even write down? Why are there able to be so many, do you think?
Because we have different opinions on the story and different views. People can get different messages from the story.
All right, so that's one thing that we're going to take tomorrow. We're going to take all of these that we talked about today. We're going to look at the second video that we looked at, that we viewed, and we're going to go through theme again, and we're going to look at all of these things and just try to discover why there can be so many. There were probably, 7 or 8, maybe 9 different ones we discussed just right here for this one video. So as we go through our unit, I want to keep us a list of all these things. I think that once we discover several key ones, they're going to be able to apply to several different stories. So we want to look at that tomorrow and figure out how those themes are all going to work together. Okay? Now, let's talk about exit ticket. We still have not done anything with our story, Charles. All right, so take out the story that we read yesterday. Everybody got it? Yes. Now, with your group, go back through Charles and decide what you think the theme should be. Okay? I'm looking for, it doesn't necessarily everybody have to have the same theme, but I'm looking for a theme. At least one, but if you have more than one in your group, that's okay, write it down. I want it jotted in that center circle of the organizer that we had. And then I want you to come up together with 2 pieces of evidence that support that theme. It was a longer story, so you should be able to find more than just one piece. Okay? So, everybody understand the instructions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so take a few moments and work on your theme. This is going to be your exit ticket for today, and we'll use it again tomorrow. Okay? I don't hear very much discussion. Let's discuss.
Lori had lied to her because she wanted to cover up the mistakes that she had made at school with somebody else that wasn't. Yes, she did. She made an imaginary person to cover up the different things that she did. I believe that Lori had just lied to she wanted
I remember like his mom talked to the teacher and she said something.
Good. That's good. I like that. You're on the right track. What about y'all? Are you doing good? Looks like y'all are almost done. Good. How are we doing? Doing great? Right. And do you have some evidence for that? Right. Good. That's good. How about y'all? You're good? Good. Great evidence. All right, can we stop for just a moment? Before we leave, let's go back to our standards and our objective. Our objective was to be able to identify a theme and to identify evidence that supported that theme and to do it through not only just a written piece of material, but also through diverse media like a video, right? Do you think that we accomplished that?
Yes, ma'am.
Were we able to identify the theme of the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we were. We identified several, right? So I think we did good with that one. What do you think about being able to find evidence? Did we find evidence that supported all of those things?
Yes, ma'am.
Every one of them. We came up with at least one piece that did every one of them, right?
Yes.
So did we meet that piece of the objective?
Yes, ma'am.
I think so too. Tell me about the diverse media. We are looking at a piece of written material, but did we use something that was not written?
We watched the video.
We watched the video. We did. Okay, now there was one more little section in there that said that we were going to be able to accomplish this two ways. How did we accomplish it?
By making a graphic.
We did a graphic organizer, very good, that helped us stay focused.
And diverse media.
We did, but what did we do together?
Groups.
Good answer, Chris. We used groups. It wasn't just one individual's effort, it was everybody's, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we have on our exit ticket at least one theme. Some of you I saw had more than one, and that's good. We'll talk about that tomorrow. And we have at least two pieces of evidence for that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, as you leave, I'm going to want you to leave that on that corner of the red table there.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we will talk about all of this again tomorrow when you come in. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all have a good day.